And welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news as we debate what is Erik ten Hag's best 11 at the moment. Really interested to see what your thoughts are, and you never know, we might actually run a few live polls on this on some positions that may be a little bit controversial. So we're going to be talking ten Hag's best 11. And we're not talking about his best 11 for Crystal Palace or his best 11 for Real Sociedad or what it was for Arsenal. We're talking about his best 11 if we were playing for the title tomorrow and you've got to put your best team out and everybody's fit. That's what we're talking, because I'm sure there's going to be some disagreements with this. And that's the beauty of it, because I think I don't think it's a negative. I think it's a positive, in fact, as to how Erik ten Hag's options are, wouldn't say infinite, but are certainly good at this moment in time. And whilst Erik ten Hag may need to groom his team to make it the best, you can groom somewhere down there to make yourself look the best, because this stream is sponsored by, yes, you've guessed it, it's sponsored by Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free worldwide shipping when you click the QR code there. It will do automatically, or you can go through the link in the description, or you can just use the code, which is United Stand. So before we get into this best 11, we're going to talk about Manscaped. And basically, Manscaped is about male grooming. It may be getting a bit cooler. The winter may be coming, but that doesn't mean you need to warm yourself up by growing a bush down there. Trim the grass, make the yard look bigger with the Manscaped 4.0. It comes with its own little light for a more precise shave. It's waterproof. It's got electromagnetic induction, battery charging, so you don't need to plug it in or anything like that. It's got its docker. Adjustable lengths on there. The Lawnmower 4.0, fantastic little product in your hand with a good weight, and you will love it. Really, really good quality products. You can also get the performance package where you get the Weed Whacker, the Crop Reviver, ball deodorant, pair of boxer shorts, and a fantastic travel bag. What's the Weed Whacker all about? Well, that's for up your nose, or if you're over about 90, you can do your ears, but hopefully I'll never have to do that. So links in the description, shipped worldwide to your door, free shipping worldwide, plus 20% off through the United Stand exclusively. You can use the QR code next to me and scan your phone, or you can go through the link in the description. Fantastic products with Manscaped, and as you know, well, you might not know, but it really does make a big difference down there. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. Big shout out to Manscaped there. So thank you to Manscaped, and now we're going to do a bit of grooming of ourselves. Not of ourselves, we're not doing that live. We're now going to do a bit of grooming of Manchester United's team and produce the best Manchester United 11 under Erik ten Hag. And I know I watched the video that Beth and Charlie did a week or two ago with their best 11, and I must admit I disagree. I do disagree with it, but the reason I disagree with it is not for any other reason than to suggest that we're all going to have our own opinion on this. And Ramaz, welcome to the Members Club. Also welcome to Dylan as well. And Sam's been a member for 6 months and says, "Hi Mark, love the show. First chance to say this on here, so thanks for the Twitter follow about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Thanks for everything. Thank you very much, Sam." Just before I get into this, by the way, I don't know whether many of you are aware of it, but we were at the press conference today, and we were at the training session. So we've got actually the full interview with Erik ten Hag on the channel. We put up at 4 o'clock, and we've got some training footage as well. I was laughing my head off. I'm not going to give you the timestamp, but at some point tonight, maybe later on, it's well worth going and watching a training clip, because basically all the United team are in a line, and Ryan's filming it and he's really close, so you can see all the players. You can pick out who the players are, and they're all in a line, and basically they know at some point the coach is going to tell them to sprint either 5 meters to the left or 5 meters to the right, and who loses is a loser, yeah? But before he's doing that, he's saying spin, hop on the spot, spin, hop on the spot. So they're all doing it. You can see McTominay, Ronaldo, spin, they have to change direction on the spot. They're doing all these things, and then he goes go, and they sprint. But on the last spin, everyone spins, but Maguire doesn't. He cheats. Maguire cheats so he can get a head start on the thing. Watch it back. I mean, I'm not taking the piss out of Maguire. I'm just saying it's good. It's nice to see that side of them training, I think, and well worth watching the video, because I know a lot of you will appreciate that, but might not realise it's come out. So do check it out. But let's, without further ado, get into this best 11, and there are a couple of ones I'm going to do some polls on. Here we go. Fred Army spotted it. I think it's about 10 minutes in, isn't it? But well worth a look. So look, goalkeeper David De Gea. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. And David De Gea is the goalkeeper, number one. And again, I think Delot, number two, not number two, Delot at right back is also pretty obvious as well. There's no competition for these players really. They are established, and maybe there will be some competition. Maybe Dubravka will come out and challenge De Gea, and maybe Wan-Bissaka. Maybe you start against Sociedad tomorrow night, and he will get his chance. But at the moment, it is Delot, who is now Portuguese, which I'm sure many of you are happy with. And again, look, no real surprises here. Varane and Martinez, and actually we may as well go to Malacia as well. So the back five picks itself. It's been fantastic. It's been fundamental to why we've won 4 games in a row. It's quite rare to see a Man United side in my lifetime, to be honest. I mean, I look back to, there was a period in the late noughties, maybe it was 2009. For some reason that jumps to mind, but maybe the chat can remember the specific year, where we went on a ridiculous run from about, I think it was like January time to maybe March or something like that, where I don't think we conceded a goal for a massive amount of games. And I remember Van der Sar was in goal. And I remember Johnny Evans was fundamental to it, but I can't remember whether it was Johnny Evans and Vidic or it was Johnny Evans and Rio. I think it was Vidic. I think it was Johnny Evans and Vidic, and they just didn't concede. They just didn't concede for ages and ages. We are live, yes, Michael, we are live. But they went on an amazing run of not conceding goals. George says it was 2009, so if I've got that right, I'm very, very impressed. It was November to February 08-09, says Adam. But no, it wasn't just Vidic and Ferdinand. Johnny Evans was definitely part of it. I remember Johnny Evans being part of it. I'm pretty sure, unless I'm mixing up another year. But apart from that, it's quite rare for United to go on a good run of fixtures, which is to do with their defence, because we've always been traditionally, when we were good, an attacking side. So this back five for me is doing a fantastic job in giving us the platform to get these results, and they really have done that over the last few weeks. Mark, it's roughly about a year since I subbed. Thanks for keeping us all up to date, and again, my dad would have absolutely loved your show. Matty Ross, thanks very much for being a member for 7 months. Really appreciate that. And then we move into the midfield, and I don't think this is a contentious thing. I mean, I could do a poll on this, but I think it would be unfair on Scott McTominay, who's actually played very well in the last 2 games. But for me, we're talking Ten Hag's best 11. And if you're picking a best 11, I'm not going to risk it on whether McTominay's going to play well again. I'm going to go with pure class. And Casemiro, if Casemiro was still at Real Madrid now, and I said to you, who are the top 5 CDMs in the world, Casemiro would be in there. He'd probably be in the top 3, to be fair. So Casemiro is in our best 11. He's not in our starting team at the moment, but he's in our best 11. I heard you said earlier today that Delot contract expires 2023, but he has an extension that I read about until summer 2024. Andreas J, if you've got that information, well done. But every bit of information I've ever seen, and I think it's on Transfer Market as well, there is no extension on Delot's contract. So, and we were talking to Romano about it on Monday. I don't think we've got the option of a further year with Delot. I think his contract's up in the summer. It's time to stop picking McTominay and get Casemiro in the team, says Sig. Well, we're not talking about that at the moment. We're talking about what our best 11 is. You don't always pick your best 11 for various reasons. But Casemiro definitely takes that spot for me. And then, completing the midfield, I would say it is Eriksen and Bruno. Eriksen without a doubt. We're talking Ten Hag's best 11. Eriksen without a doubt. I mean, the fact that he got man of the match against Arsenal on Sunday was fantastic when you consider that Marcus Rashford got 2 goals and an assist. But I heard somebody saying it, I think it was Samuel Luckhurst on the Manchester is Red podcast actually, that the Manchester Evening News said. He was talking about Rashford and saying, if he took those goals away from Rashford, how good was his overall performance? Because there was times in the second half where he was, quite quiet. But that's the whole point of a forward, isn't it? That is the classic centre forward. They don't do anything all game, and then they pop up with a couple of goals, and that is what Marcus Rashford's paid to do: is score goals, and that's what he did. But Eriksen was quite clearly the best player on the pitch on Sunday, and he's fundamental to this team. I think he's played nearly every minute of Ten Hag's Premier League season so far as manager, and he's a very, very important player. And then you got Bruno Fernandes, who, whether you like it or not, I'm sorry, just keep changing so it resets them all so they're all in sync. Then you got Bruno Fernandes, who's without question a very successful captain of Manchester United. He's won 4 games in a row as captain, and fundamental again to beating Arsenal. That pass for the first Rashford goal was world class. I still think there's a lot of gears to go through with Bruno Fernandes, but I think Erik ten Hag has shown that he is a very important player. Hassan says Van der Beek is better. Interestingly, Ryan of the United Stand was at the training ground today, which is why we've got some footage of the training ground, and Van der Beek and Shaw weren't there. Now, unless they were training separately, I don't know. And I don't know whether... I can't find anything out about Van der Beek. But Van der Beek was not training today. So he will not be playing tomorrow, and neither will Luke Shaw, which is a big shame in the Van der Beek career at Manchester United, because tomorrow night against Sociedad is his chance to play 90 minutes. And I was quite looking forward to him playing 90 minutes. But for some reason, he wasn't on the bench against Arsenal, and he's not training at the moment. So I don't know whether he's picked up an injury, or it's actually something. Is he now, has his partner or wife given birth? So maybe he's on maternity, or sorry, not maternity. He won't be on maternity. Maybe he's on paternity leave. But Luke Shaw's probably still injured, although I thought he was on the bench at the weekend. So I don't know what's going on with Shaw and Van der Beek. Look, the birth of your first child is a fantastic thing, and if that's what Van der Beek's doing, then nobody's going to suggest that shouldn't be the case. But I don't know whether that is the case. I don't know. I mean, he was getting married apparently the other day, and then he wasn't. So I don't know what the reason for Van der Beek missing is, but it's a shame because he's not going to play against Palace. I mean, he'll probably play next week, but, you know, Real Sociedad is a big team to play against and play well. If you play well against Sheriff or the Cypriot team, then it's not the same, is it? So it's a shame. Marky, could you call my missus a prat for me, says Vol. So yes, I don't know what's going on with Van der Beek, and I don't know whether anyone else in the chat does, but it doesn't look like he's going to be involved with that. Nobody seems to know what's going on with Donny at all, so I don't know. But I don't think you can. My point is, I don't think you can argue with that midfield three as being Ten Hag's best midfield at the moment. The most arguable thing, amazingly, is probably Casemiro for McTominay. Fred's not done enough to get into that team at the moment. Donny's not done enough to get into that team at the moment. So I think the best midfield three is Casemiro, Bruno and Eriksen as we stand, which brings us on to our front three. Well, look, I'm going to start in a less contentious position. I'm going to put Anthony on the right-hand side. I know he's been here only 5 minutes, but he is left-footed. We need that inverted left-footer from the right-hand side. You could say that Sancho off the right's decent. Rashford certainly isn't. Alanga certainly isn't. Martial doesn't want to play there. So if it's a battle between Anthony and Sancho off the right-hand side, we've spent 100 million euros on this lad. He will be Erik ten Hag's first choice right-sided player. This is his right-sided player from Ajax. He knows him like the back of his hand. He 100% still needs to adjust to the Premier League. And I don't actually think his performance against Arsenal was very good. I don't. And I'm a massive fan of Anthony, but he got his goal, and 60 minutes with very little training or game time in the previous 2 weeks, I think he ticked all the boxes, and I think we will see him get better and better. And I would like to see him play against Real Sociedad, like I said in the preview, but he's definitely in Erik ten Hag's best 11. And then I think we move to the most contentious positions, because I know who I'm going to go for on this, but who starts off the left? This is your first interactive part of this. Because I know who I'm going to go with, but I'm going to give you people, the community, the choice between Rashford and Sancho, who plays off the left. So get your votes in. Who would you go with, Rashford or Sancho, to play off the left in Ten Hag's best 11? I know who I'm going to put in there, but I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to say you've got a couple of minutes to get your vote in, and tell us what you think. The striking position I refuse to offer up as an option, because some of you might want Anthony Martial, but for me, it's Cristiano Ronaldo. And the hint was always that I was going to go for Ronaldo because it's Rashford or Sancho off the left. So it's Ronaldo or Martial through the middle. And Martial's just never fit. And I like Martial. I like Martial, as anybody who's watched this channel for a long time knows I'm a big fan of Martial. But I have had to accept over the last couple of years that Martial hasn't been good. And he had a very good pre-season, and then he's not been good this season because he's not fit, which is not his fault. So you're asking me to put Martial ahead of Cristiano Ronaldo, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, who scored 18 Premier League goals last season in a terrible United side and was our Player of the Year. You want me to put Martial ahead of Ronaldo because he had a good pre-season against teams that just weren't that good. So it's Ronaldo for me. It's not even up for debate. But you might put Martial in there. But and look, fair play. Michelle says the Ronaldo obsession. Michelle, it's unfortunate that I spotted your chats because you will get a moment of focus here. It is not an obsession to put a striker up front who last season scored 18 Premier League goals in a terrible side and was our player of the year and is one of the best players to ever play the game. That is not an obsession to put Ronaldo up front over Martial, who spent most of last season injured and has spent all of this season injured and scored some goals in a pre-season tournament, in a pre-season that was really meaningless. So until Martial is fit, and until Martial proves that he can stay fit and be consistent in the Premier League, I'll go for somebody who is ridiculously consistent, and that name is Ronaldo. So there we go. Since Shaw isn't playing tomorrow, do you think Erik ten Hag should give Brandon Williams a chance at left back instead? Says Aradia. I don't know whether Brandon Williams is fit. I don't know. I'd love to know what is wrong with Donny van der Beek, because we put 2 goalkeepers on the bench on Sunday. So I don't know what the issue is with Donny van der Beek. This game against Sociedad will have been what he's been waiting for 6 weeks. Same as Harry Maguire, same as Victor Lindelof, same as Luke Shaw, same as everyone who's been on the bench since the Brentford game. And Donny's been on the bench before the Brentford game. Donny didn't even get a chance when we lost to Brentford. So I don't know where Donny is. It's odd, and nobody seems to be able to give us an answer on that. Mark, if we field this team in every crucial game, we will win at least 1 trophy. Hope everyone is well. Glazers out. And that's from Kaiser. And Michelle, thank you very much for the super chat there. So Ronaldo with Rashford up front will be brilliant. And we're not going to play up front 2, are we? Donny is in DC. He's trying out for DC United. Stuggy. I don't know whether that's true. Apparently the Ronaldo bias is hilarious, says Radders. I think your attempts to troll the chat is hilarious because you want to put Anthony Martial up front, who's not fit and hasn't done anything in a United shirt for 2 years. So, and I like Martial. I've mentioned this so many times. There's so much positivity around United at the moment. I refuse to get drawn into Martial FC versus Ronaldo FC. Or, McTominay FC against Casemiro FC, or whatever it is you want to do. I'm not going to get involved in that. I like Martial, but I have a preference, and it's always going to be Ronaldo while he's still playing football. So look, the final position is obviously the left wing position. I can tell you in the chat that we've had 5,000 votes. 28% of you have gone for Rashford to play off the left, and 72% of you have gone with Sancho to play off the left. Now, I told you that I wasn't going to be convinced by whatever you went with anyway, because I would have gone with my own, but I would have just said you've gone with whoever. So you would have gone with Sancho off the left. I actually would go with Elanga. No, I wouldn't. I actually was going to go with Sancho, which I don't think anybody would be massively surprised about that. So that is what I believe is Ten Hag's best 11. De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Malacia, Casemiro, Bruno, Eriksen, Sancho, Ronaldo, Antony. And to know that that's not a team that's based on having to sign players, and to know that that team has got the quality of Martial and Rashford on the bench when they're fit, and then you've got people like Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Fred, Donny van der Beek. There's a lot of depth to that team, and yet we still have that team as our starting 11. So it's a good team if everybody's performing. But the Rashford thing doesn't end there, because Marcus Rashford may well be watching this and going, "You're having a laugh." He may probably isn't watching this, but Rashford fans might be watching it and saying you're having a laugh. Now, why is my preference Sancho over Rashford when Rashford's playing really well at the moment? Well, we're not picking a team on form. We're picking what's the best 11 from the squad with everybody on form. Sancho's not in form at the moment. Rashford is. McTominay is in form, and Casemiro's not in the team. So we're not picking the best team at the moment. We're picking what the best team is based on talent. And I think that Jadon Sancho, at his best, is a better footballer than Marcus Rashford at his best, based on the last couple of years. If we're going to get Rashford back from 2.5 years ago, then we may have a conversation to have. And certainly Rashford's in better form than Sancho at the moment. But the reason I would go with Sancho, and it's got, Rashford's another player that I really like, is that I think Rashford suits certain games really well. when Arsenal tried to attack us and Rashford was off the left, he was a brilliant outlet ball in behind. When you're playing against Everton at home and they're sitting back deep, is Rashford a useful player then? No. If you've got 70% possession and you're against a team with 30% possession, that means you're going to have a lot of the ball, which means you're going to be in the final third with playing against the deep block. This is where Jadon Sancho and Anthony and the fullbacks and Eriksen are really important, because we want to be a patient possession team in the final third. And I think that's where Jadon Sancho works. I think Sancho's suffering a little bit at the moment because the way United are playing is we're sort of counter-attacking, and you need pace to do that. And Jadon Sancho's not particularly quick compared to your typical winger. And we're not spending a lot of time in the opposition's half. So I don't think we're playing to Sancho's strengths. And this is what happened with Solskjaer when we bought Sancho as well. He didn't suit the way Solskjaer wanted to play. So I think that at the moment, Sancho isn't actually fulfilling his potential. But I think that there may well be a reason for that, is because we're not actually playing the way that we thought we were going to be playing under Ten Hag yet. But I think we will do. And I think this team gets you into the final third of the pitch with 70% possession. If this team played the way that Ajax play, then we would be a very, very interesting team to watch, because Eriksen's comfortable on the ball, Sancho's comfortable on the ball, Anthony's comfortable on the ball, Ronaldo loves the ball in and around the box. You've got fullbacks that want to bomb on as well. Casemiro's more than capable of running the midfield. Martinez and Varane are very capable of playing a high line. So, I mean, for me, that's the best Man United 11. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but for me, that's our best 11. Please can I have a job at the United stands as Shannon. I don't know what jobs we've got, Shannon, at the moment. Jack, I'd love to give you all a job. Jack, welcome to the Members Club. Hi, congratulations for getting this channel to become the largest football fan channel with highest numbers of subscription, surpassing other fan channels, says Eugene. With Ronaldo, I don't know whether that's true. With Ronaldo in front, I think Sancho and Anthony will be better, especially feeding Ronaldo to score. Just better balance overall, says YB. And Sancho on the left and Anthony on the right both have very great ball control. What's the prediction for tomorrow's match, says Kurt John. I think United will win tomorrow. I think we'll win 2-0. But that's something that I'm really looking forward to seeing tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to seeing Manchester United with a team that can attack. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. That I really hope that if Cristiano Ronaldo starts tomorrow, which I think he will, if he starts tomorrow, I won't see a team like that. But if he does start tomorrow, I hope we've got some width, because I really want to see us putting some crosses into the box. One thing we haven't done over the last few weeks is we don't put crosses into the box. I've seen Delot pick the ball up a few times, and I've seen Malacia pick the ball up, and Eriksen, and even Anthony on Sunday, and they sort of look about putting a cross in, and then they'll see Bruno and Rashford in the middle, and it's like there's absolutely no point putting a cross into the box against people like Johnny Evans or Saliba or Bola Ketchup when they've got Marcus Rashford in the middle. Whereas if Cristiano Ronaldo is in the middle, it's a little bit different. I met a United player from last season who told me some current players watch United stand. Please be nice to them, says Danny. And correct me if I'm wrong, Mark, but isn't Sancho used to a possession-based style of play, being a Man City graduate and playing for Dortmund? Yes, Matty. It's really interesting with Manchester United at the moment because Erik ten Hag's a big fan of Marcus Rashford, and he's obviously spending a lot of time developing Marcus Rashford. But I think that also you wouldn't expect Rashford to work in a Ten Hag system the way he is if you play a high possession system. And you'd expect Sancho to work in that. But at the moment, Sancho's the one that's not really at full pelt, and Rashford's the one who's doing well. Because I think we are not playing the way that Ten Hag wants to play yet. But it's going to be very interesting when we build out. How do you think we're going to do tomorrow, says Martin. So your idea of a best 9 is to change the way Erik ten Hag plays, says Ing. I don't know what you're on about a best 9. There's 11 players who play football. I don't know what sport you're talking about. And also, I think you're a little bit thick because I don't think you've listened to what we've just been talking about for the last 25 minutes. We're not picking the team for Crystal Palace. We're not picking the team for Leeds. We're not picking the team against Man City. We've just done a video on what Erik ten Hag's best 11 is. That is a hypothetical situation where you've got to play your best 11. And that is what I believe his best 11 is. he ain't going to pick that team against Crystal Palace. He's going to pick the team that probably beat Arsenal. Let's be honest. But we're talking about what our best 11 is and the excitement of being able to build that out. Let's not forget, Sancho has 2 goals this season before Rashford decided to run on the end of passes and look like a superhero again, says Nick P. Why do we have to attack Marcus Rashford? Why do we have to attack? Hi, Mark. Do you think Donny van der Beek is finished? Even Erik ten Hag doesn't give him time. Have we ruined him, or is he not trying hard enough? I don't know what the situation is with with Donny van der Beek at the moment. I mean, I can check my phone again, but there's just nothing out there about why he's not training, why he wasn't involved against Arsenal. It is odd. It's very odd, and I'm sure there's an explanation for it, but you know, he's not really been asked about it, has he? So I don't know. I just don't really know. But what I do know is that we've got the game tomorrow, and it doesn't look like he's going to play. Let's not forget Sancho. We've done that one. And hi, Mark. Do you think Donny van der Beek is finished? Even Erik ten Hag? Yeah. Well, I don't think he's finished. I just think he will be finished if he's not available for games. Is he? Is he on a honeymoon? I don't know. He may have an injury, says Nicholas. Get your questions in. But what I would say about people like Donny van der Beek is, if he's not fit, if he doesn't start playing games soon, I mean, I think he'll be gone in January. And it's interesting as well. If Donny van der Beek, somebody said this to me the other day. There was Donny van der Beek was always like, why is Donny not starting? Why is Donny not starting? And it doesn't really get mentioned now. Why is that? The reason he's not getting mentioned much now is because Donny van der Beek is a footballer because of Erik ten Hag. Donny van der Beek created him at Ajax, basically. It was Erik ten Hag who was in charge of Ajax when they went to that semi-final, and Donny van der Beek was a big part of that team. So when Erik ten Hag came to the club, this was like make or break for Donny van der Beek, because if you're not getting picked under Erik ten Hag, then you're clearly not good enough, and I think we all acknowledge that. So I don't know what's happened to Donny, but the fact that Erik ten Hag doesn't want to use him is quite interesting. Are you playing in the Sidemen game, says Harry? I am not. I'm not. I would love to have been involved, but I haven't been invited. I'm not big enough. So there you go. I didn't expect to get invited, so it's not a problem. They're very, very big. Probably Donny's not good enough, says Supper. Junior thinks Donny's on honeymoon, and Ajax are smashing Rangers at the moment. Van der Beek would do well to shadow Eriksen and Bruno, says Painless. Look, in relation to Van der Beek, I would love to have seen him play tomorrow. I'd love to have seen him play tomorrow, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen, does it? Why is live so early? Colester in Dublin, I know it, James. I'm live early because I'm on That's Football straight after this to do the Champions League watch-alongs. So there's a few games tonight, so I'm doing the watch-alongs for that. So obviously I'll be live on there, and we'll be continuing the football conversation. I want to talk a bit more about the Tuchel situation, Graham Potter, but we will talk about United and stuff as well. So get your questions in over there. Sports says, sometimes I will read out, Prats. Sports says, that's a lie. Donny van der Beek was in the Europa League side that lost to Manchester United, and Ten Hag wasn't at Ajax then. What's a lie? What's the lie? He played for Ajax against Spurs in that season where they got to the semi-final of the Champions League, and Erik ten Hag was the manager. Where's the lie? I'm trying to figure out what your lie is. So I said that Erik ten Hag basically made Donny van der Beek. So you're saying that's a lie because he played for Ajax before Erik ten Hag was there. It's not a lie. Maybe he was part of the Ajax setup, but maybe Erik ten Hag made him a better player. Like, if Scott McTominay becomes a regular first-team player for Manchester United, Erik ten Hag has made Scott McTominay. That's not a lie. And what are you going to say? Well, that's a lie because he played under Solskjaer and Mourinho. He was shit under Solskjaer and Mourinho. The only 2 games I've seen Scott McTominay play well enough that I think he can wear a United shirt is the last 2. I know there was glimpses of stuff, every now and again, but he's been predominantly crap under Solskjaer. if Scott McTominay ends up becoming a Man United first team regular, it's because Erik Ten Hag has made him a regular. You're not made by the person that gives you the debut. You're made by the coach that makes you a good player. And Donny van de Beek, in my opinion, became a much better player at Ajax when Erik Ten Hag took over. I'm not talking about his bloody debut. And Scott McTominay is a prime example. And Dalot's a prime example. Dalot, McTominay are much better players than I've seen in the last 2 years, in the last few weeks, because of the coach. That's who makes you. It's not who... You're not made at birth. You're nurtured after birth. So you're talking out your arse, mates. Arse talk. YouTube recommended me a video the other day of you announcing the end of United stand. Well bloody done for sticking at it. You're one of the best, Goldie, says Chris. That got recommended by me. I don't know how YouTube works. I had that last week. I was logging into That's Football, and my recommended videos were there. And normally it's based on stuff that I like to watch. So it might be the Ben Foster channel, it might be Game of Thrones stuff, or the Mark Goldbridge channel, Driving with Goldbridge and stuff like that. But no, I'm only joking. But no, I did get that one, Rest in Peace United Stand, and it was years old. And I was like, what? Something's happened in the YouTube algorithm to start recommending that, and I don't know why. It's had a comeback, and I don't know why. I had to watch it myself as well, because it's like a different life. I remember I did that video. It must have been about 5 or 6 years ago, and basically I just had enough, and I said, I'm just going to quit. I've had enough. I'm fed up of certain people from other fan channels sort of giving me a load of shit and spreading lies, and I was very wet behind the ears then, and I stopped it for about 3 or 4 weeks, and then we came back, and never looked back since, really. But it was a long time ago, and I'd like to say all the lies and stuff have stopped, but they haven't. In fact, I'm going to do a Driving with Goldbridge this week, and I'll tell you something about an ex-United player, what they said to somebody, and I got told this yesterday, and it's not for the United stand, but I'll do it on Driving with Goldbridge, because ridiculous. The bitterness is ridiculous. Anyway, a lot of people have said it's dropped into their suggestions. It's weird. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. It was 2016 anyway. Another big channel gave massive respect to United stand for asking a good question today. Good to see that instead of usual hate, says Lee Galdert. That's nice to hear. I don't know who it was. As I've always said, I don't have any problems with anybody. And the door is always open for a chat. There's a lot of lies, and there's a lot of people out there who spread lies, even still to this day, but haters going to hate, aren't they? You just got to be the best you. That's all you got to do. I wouldn't necessarily describe them as the good old days, Haddy. It was pretty damn... It was pretty tough down in those nettles, getting stung every day and stinging back. It was a different time, but I think that content's moved on anyway, hasn't it? I mean, I don't know why we're having this chat now, but I think content has moved on. I get sent stuff, and I just think it's so 2017. Like I saw some of the stuff after the Arsenal game, and some of the reactions from certain people were just like, get back in 2017. You're just still doing the same thing you were then. Scripting fucking stupid words and controversial, horrible words and reactions. Like, fucking grow up. Is that not the part? A footballer develops and grows over their career, and content needs to grow and develop as well. And I've been guilty of it in the past. Some of the stuff I've said is ridiculous. I'll never get past the PSG harder than a wedding night dick. It's one of the worst things that's ever come out of my mouth. But it's just cringe. But you develop and you grow, and I think the United stand has developed and grown a lot over the last probably 18 months to a point where I like to think that the content is generally, level-headed and, just focused on what's best for the community in Manchester United. But, some of the stuff I see, I still see people making content just for controversy. Like fucking Haaland will flop. That was one I saw a few weeks ago. And, this whole Tuchel thing, like, I was driving back yesterday, and it was on Talk Sport about 10 o'clock at night, and there's a Chelsea fan saying he needs to go, and I'm like, fuck, he doesn't need to go. I know he has gone, but I think it's a bad decision. But yeah, that's not. I don't think that's what people want in their content anymore. I don't think controversy is what people want. I think people want a proper conversation, and hopefully we do that. Who's the best captain for your best 11? What a good question, Shannon. So who would you have as captain in Ten Hag's best 11? Who would you put as captain in there? That's a great question. I would. I still think Ronaldo would be a good captain, but I wouldn't go Ronaldo. I actually think Varane. Wow. A lot of people in the Varane. A lot of people are saying Varane there. I actually think Varane would be good. I just don't know whether he would want to do it. Bruno's doing a very good job at the moment, but for me, I want the captain to be somebody who's definitely never going to get dropped. And there is a debate to be had that Bruno could come out of that midfield. In many ways, Bruno's probably the most vulnerable in that midfield three. I still think that there's a bit of a question mark over him. And that sounds weird when Casemiro's not even in the team at the moment. But you know it's Casemiro or McTominay. But with Bruno, I do think that, I don't necessarily think Bruno should start every game. But at the moment, he deserves the captaincy. And he's in possession of it. But I do think that maybe Varane would be good. I think Martinez could be good in a little bit of time, but not yet. So I'd probably go with Varane, although I do like the idea of Ronaldo still, but he's not in the team yet. So, yeah. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to be on That's Football in a few minutes' time. I've just got to set up the stream, and then we'll be on there ready for the 8 o'clock kickoff. So make sure you tune in. Thanks everyone for watching. Obviously, it's match day tomorrow, so we've got lots going on. I'll be on the morning show as per usual. Please subscribe and smash a like. And if you want to join the members club, we've got lots of exclusive content for you on there. And I'm going to be on That's Football. If you're watching the Champions League games, it's a watch along. So tune in and I'll see you over there in a bit. Thanks for watching. Really enjoyed the show. Don't forget Manscaped, 20% off and free worldwide shipping. You will not regret getting these products. The link's in the description. 20% off, free worldwide shipping. Trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. They really are fantastic products and you won't regret it. Just do it in private. Don't go doing it on your front garden. It's got nothing. You don't need to be on your front garden to do it. And don't trim your grass with it. It's a metaphor or something. Speak to you in a bit.